The Biden administration has promised to reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by 50 to 52% by year 2030 compared to 2005. Some say that this target is relatively safe. America is now slowly reducing its carbon footprint. The country is used to consume large amount of oil. It is now using natural gas to replace some oil consumption. Reducing carbon emissions by half by 2030 is achievable and not putting too much pressure on America's domestic industry. Others say that this goal may be a bit too conservative as compared to European nations with similar energy structures. Developed countries such as the US and the European Union had reached their carbon emission peak during the 1990s, and they have been lowering carbon footprint ever since. For instance, the UK had set up a goal of reducing emissions by 68% in 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Germany is to reduce emissions by 55% in 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Breaking down the energy structure, natural gas, coal, and oil accounts for about 80% of energy consumption in the United States. Germany and the United Kingdom, they're slightly less than that. But since most of Europe relies on natural gas from Russia, so energy security has remained a top concern. Hence, the emission reduction targets there are clearer and more solid. Whilst the United States is a big producer of shale oil and gas itself, the country will need to make some major reforms in its energy system. The Biden administration will have to face some moment of truth during the transitioning from fossil energy to non-fossil energy, including how to work with traditional oil and gas companies, coal miners, and the development of shale oil and gas technology, and how to get bipartisan support. Experts say the U.S. will likely to need to go through 3 steps. First, to improve energy efficiency. Now, this includes the application of intelligent and digital technologies to improve the overall efficiency of energy use. And secondly, to replace fossil fuel with renewable energy such as solar power and wind power in power generation. Then comes the use of renewable energy in heating, electrification in transportation, the deployment of carbon capture and storage technologies, and measures such as afforestation and vegetation restoration. According to the analysis of Climate Action Tracker, if the U.S. wants to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, then the country must control 57 to 63% of emissions within the next 10 years. If we compare this goal announced by Biden yesterday with the targets under former U.S. President Barack Obama, Obama had promised during his tenure that the U.S. emissions in 2025 would be reduced by 26 to 28% from 2005 levels. But according to media reports, up to now, year 2021, the U.S. has not yet achieved half of this target. The Biden administration may have displayed enough determination to support its climate pledge. The path will not be smooth. And to put it in perspective, it's not easy, not impossible.